Yep, let's get it kicked off. And James, I already say it now here. We are starting south. We're flying over the military island.
Yeah.
And oh, yeah, you know what I'm going to say. It's going to probably be a military game, or at least have some water in that southern side. Or, you know what, the classic style bending. I'll have that too.
Maybe. Or we get that east circle that I was talking about just for Nemesis's rotations, right? So we'll see. We will see. It looks like some of the colors are we're used to these colors compared to what we saw on that last day of the playoff. That was throwing me for a loop. But here we are as all of these teams descend onto the first game of Erangel. Man, I am buzzing to get these games going. I've been waiting for this all week, considering how much is on the line for some of the teams. I think that some are... What
There's no way.
Is that?
That's a Virtus Pros winning everything. Just give it to them already, James. Look at that. That's a crazy circle. I don't know if I'm going to pull out ChatGPT to kind of analyze how much that is. That's at least 70% water. And also, like, this next circle is also going to have so much water inside still, unless we get the perfect east shift on the military side. But yeah, I completely agree. As you said here, waiting all week for this day to start here. When you gave the intro, James, I was like, shivers down my back, because this is just so exciting. This is so crucial for all these players to come in here. And as I said, career-defining chances to come in. And potentially, if you're not signed right now, you could get in and get some big points on PGC. Maybe even get an esports World Cup slot. And if you're not signed, I bet you there's going to be rolling in with big offers to get things rolling.
No, 100%. You're hitting the rock. Okay, so, yes, insane circle. Virtus Pro, you absolute buffoons. But it's fine. They're going to get running. Yeah, as you say, like, this is basically a home circle for them, considering the situation. They're moving on over towards the west side of Military Island to get things going. They're a team that is basically defending a championship spot right now, be it PGS3, be it PEC Week 1, or Week 2, even I should say, and already very rapid on their movement from where they were dropping towards Ferry Pier. So they understand the stakes of a circle like this, that's for sure.
Yeah, this is something they need to get up and set up, especially with knowing the teams that are already in military are also going to take high priority locations. Luckily, they're going to get other cars or get picked up there, so that's fine. Storm Request, though, huge to see these guys in here, James. I'm kind of stoked for these guys, but I don't feel like these guys are going to come in and contend for the championship of the final week. But they could come in and ruffle their feathers a little bit and have a chance at getting some PGC points.
They definitely come in as one of the teams that people are looking at as a potential feeder team, right? And of course, they're going to have to completely negate that image from a lobby like this. Bushido Wildcats already coming in with an emergency pickup. Love an early emergency pickup on something like this if you can lock down one of the compounds early. Hell, you could have even probably gone to the North Road on Sosnovka Island here and got some vehicles because of the way in which all teams actually dropped. I like that Navi is using the boat for a bit of cover here as well.
That's huge.
That is very, very nicely done. So everybody's finding their own way over slowly here, Martin, and there's definitely some opportunities. Oh, they are dropping the North Road.
Oh, my God.
That's very well done.
Yeah, that's smart. I mean, they're spreading out a little bit, but they're definitely going to be able to get some cars early on.
Yeah.
With how this circle is, James, I understand from Virtus Pro perspective, you're betting against the odds here, but there's still a chance that we go north here. This circle could be so wonky that if we get that northern shift, where you still contain a lot of that northern plays up, especially around the ferry pier, that next shift could go north, just due to the amount of water that's in play here. But yeah, Exile obviously coming in, trying to get some priority in this, and this is coming in from a meta and strategic perspective from this game here. This is where the information and knowledge you have on other teams' timings on their drop spots is so crucial, because you know the kind of priority. Okay, you know that Virtus Pros, they're dropping in this area, they're probably going to be across already, or they're camping, and if they're not, we can maybe take the ferry pier. And all these kind of second and third priors that, depending on where they go, how long time you have to spend. And teams that are super smart and well prepared, they know exactly what their strategy is on every single first circle pop. So that's awesome.
Oh, definitely. I did see that Metabay and Code Marco both got vehicles after that drop. So that's huge. An unbelievable success for them. They are kind of caught in the red zone, though, so they want to recover things a little bit. Obviously, sometimes you can lose that here, but that is not a success, unfortunately, for construction workers straight away. PGG, Sloy Jacket, taking down Nail Up, sees more on the rotate here. Pixelic tries to go for the C-swap. He takes a second one. This could be an absolute disaster for construction workers off the rip.
Oh my god, he actually managed to get 2 here. Vex gets him down though, gets insta-flushed here. I don't know if the other guy's already sidling around. It's coming in. Vard is down to nothing. Presenti finds him as well. It's down to just Vex now. Can he make something happen here for construction workers? Shots coming in too. He's down to 6 HP. Surely Vex goes down to PGG eventually here, and it is Salik that finds him with the scar.
Talked about these two teams at the beginning of the day. PGG, I think they are coming out swinging, and for construction workers, that's a bit of a disaster. But here comes the breach forwards here once again by Howl, going up against only a few members here of Virtus.pro. The other two have split off on the other side of things, but Curexia already hits with the Dragonov here from distance, so supporting with perfect fire. But Odin takes down Nixie. Lookarooks with the shotgun, trying to save Nixie. Doesn't work on out. Odin once again here with another pickup. This is X-Howl being very aggressive on the 2-2 split, and Virtus.pro is being punished for it.
Yeah, they're not coming in with the backup. Shots are coming in. The flushes are coming through as well, trying to just make sure that things can evolve rapidly to their advantage. Lookarok still not flush here. Odin basically gets Nixie, though. It's a big player to take down early on. Shots come in from the side. Actually finds Odin here. That's huge.
Looking
and
for the
also, yeah, easy peasy. Might be able to get some points rolling out for this one. That's quick for them.
The thing is that Odin was the one that got X-Howl to this position.
Yes.
In day 3 of the playoffs, saving their bacon in that last game of the Erangel games was massive. And now Howl starts it off by being embroiled with Virtus.pro. It's not exactly who you want to have to go up against here in these compounds, but they did quite a bit of damage. And now, unfortunately for Howl, they're a little bit split across some of this area. Some of them are still in boat. Kind of in the north side of this compound as well, so they're not going to be able to finish off that too much. But Virtus.pro will be playing with 3, and so will Howl be playing with 2 for now.
For the...
Or 1.
Yeah, well, there's a flush coming in, obviously, too. He's knocked already in there. Virtus.pro, though, James, for the 14 other teams that's not X-Howl or Virtus.pro, this is a great start. Losing a player, not being fully looted here for VP, unless it ends on this compound and they somehow manage to get a win anyway. That's going to be big for them to save out. But also, that engagement means that there's now 3, well, with Nixie dead as well, 4 dead bodies to loot for utility, for the guns that they didn't have, because they had shotguns, they have SMGs, they had all these weapons that is not the kind of meta or optimized setup for the kind of mid to late game where you're wanting ARs and DMRs or bolts. So let's see how they approach with that and how the loot goes.
Yeah, absolutely. As we were on with Nemesis, flying high as so said. I did a deal with him. I gave him 10 subs, and if they finish #1 on a day, he's going to come do an interview. His English is fantastic. He's a little bit concerned sometimes, but, you know, he's brilliant. So hopefully they finish #1 of a day, and then we get to talk to them about it. That'll be awesome, because I really want to talk to them about the day 3 of the playoffs more than anything.
Yeah, exactly. And even in 2023, I had an English interview with DivX where we did it at Esports World Cup, and their English is fine. DivX's English is actually really good. So they shouldn't shy down of a good interview, those guys, for sure. And especially after what we saw of that day 3, James, as you talked about. Wow, what a performance. What a way to close out things. And if it is like Mark says, that they just wanted to play every single day, managing to get as many reps in before the finals. I love that idea. We always push this agenda on people, but no, sure, you want to qualify in day 1. But that's a good way to get some practice in and get the best reps in.
For sure. And no Slack coming a little bit later. They're probably going to be coming in behind some teams here, which makes it really kind of tricky, really treacherous. That means we might have to see No Slack taking some very heavy edge fights and playing the edge for a long time in this game, considering their entry point right now. I mean, SUG is still in Primorsk, so they might even be trying to botate in from there as well. So you'll be coming in behind teams on Bridge, behind teams on potentially Ferry, and behind teams on boat. But where are we going? This better be a good shift. It's okay for the teams. It's okay.
It's okay. I mean, at least it's a guaranteed military. Sure, there's still some water in play on the southern side, but the majority of the military island is already in here. Big teams have set up shop already. PGG is looking really good for that middle central spot here. Vitality on the eastern side. Also, Navi is now taking some shots. They're more on the northern kind of side of things here, but they spread out quite evenly and easily here to manage to get some inside info. They look to be having a lot of info on Bushido Wildcats. And now with a member of Bushido Wildcats leaving, 2 of them might even leaving this compound here, they know that they can backfill this compound. So if we get a northeastern hardship north, James, that'll be huge for them, and they can take this compound already.
Yeah, and Twisted Minds is currently camping the bridge and has had diverted Nemesis while this has been going on. Okay, now they're driving up. Oh my days, they have a BRDM.
Of course,
The inverted commas ex-kings of EMEA has a BRDM in game number 1, and so this is not what the rest of the lobby wants to see, because this is going to give Batulin so much room to do scouting. But still, there's still teams that need to cross. S2G is all in one boat. Sosa's going to have noticed that as he's flying over it, over on his left-hand side. So for the rest of these teams trying to get on in, Kovalevi is on the far end of that pier shooting at this.
That's crazy. There's going to be some naval warfare going on here, that's for sure. Kind of the outskirts of the military island actually sets up for quite some points if they manage to get some guys shot out of the boats here. So that's going to be cool. I do like the way that SVG gets in here. This beach is usually kind of contested because this is the only kind of safe spot that you come in from this area. So I'm surprised they're not worried about this. But look at this. Shipless, the last player of Exhal. Currently less than 10 HP, and it's blinking, James. He's also going to be drowning shortly, and that's 10 damage per tick after you started your drowning.
That's what happens when you kick the bee's nest that is Virtus Pro. Sorry, X-Howl. The one thing that I see as a vulnerability, though, for Virtus Pro is the fact that Lucarux is completely alone on the south side compared to the 2-1 split. I know that they're wanting to control space, and I know, of course, that they have had one casualty, but if S2G or some other team actually wants to hit that position, then that could be brutal. Shipless goes down. That's X-Howl out in 15th place here after construction workers. Obviously, it was down in 16th, and the rest of Virtus Pro is now on the move. Do they have any vehicles or something?
All right, let's see what Twisted Minds are going to do to the rest of the lobby here. No Slack coming in slow, Nemesis coming in slow, and eventually, especially from this location that Lewis and we saw some crazy things going on, especially with how the meta is that you drive your car off the edge and try to not hit the rock, to not flip, obviously, as we saw Virtus Pro do, but quite often you can hit it, especially with the fast cars, you can actually fly over it. Yeah. All right, Storm on request to get some mortar shots in. Let's see what happens with this one here. It's going at the direction of the granny that Salix is soloing. Oh, never mind. It's not. That's way further. Was that intended to go to the granny? I don't know.
I don't know. That was interesting. Let's see where we're going.
Okay, oh,
right.
Good. Not bad.
Yeah, I mean, Storm on request, right? Having dropped Military Island and military base in general, like, they're really getting rewarded for their initial choices by everything but here. But you're going to need to taking down Virtus Pro at the moment. Beamy's going to try and get things sorted.
No!
And no, Virtus Pro, our previous weekend's champions, down and out for this game, taken down by Yoga Benito. And Zizo actually also doing something here from Storm on request. They do have such a strong high ground position, and they're all reinforcing that now. I think you've got to lock this down with everything you've got, considering the circle.
I'm actually a little bit surprised that they went for this check here. Maybe they think it was uncontested, not already taken here. But now we see SG being pulled up into the sky here. They're also going to have an open area here. The compound that Lucarux had is obviously close to water. That's why they decided to go away from it. But yeah, let's see what happens with this one here.
That is spectacular stuff here. If S2G is able to make this kind of work, it's very rare you see kind of emergency pickup go that way and have be from those kinds of positions. But smokes go down here for PGG. Presenter taking some shots here. Keta 98 down. No bolting for you here so far, my friend. In game number 1, it was Levante, but then stolen away by Presenti. As now the rest of Ascend on the move, who have technically come in underneath the hillside a little bit here. They could survive there for a little while. As 3. It really depends on how much crunch down goes on, because there's quite a bit of foliage cover on the trees there. Then maybe they can survive unless they get shot out by a few of these teams. Oh, this is so happening.
Yeah, it is. And Nemesis is really feeling this one difficult here. Oh, Diffix might go down. Oh, there we go, though. Batulins finds him. Spiro finds Perfectix, and this backfill onto Twisted Minds might be a good way to stop it, especially with Na'Vi having spotted this already. James, this could be huge. Example trying to come in with the backup too and make sure that Perfectic doesn't go down. Michael, look at this Hive, and also in a big fight. That's points that's open and up for grabs here. Cappy finds rocks. Scaff found the confirmation on Perfectix, by the way, but PewDiePie also finds the confirmation on the Schengen. And now, Yo, having had this Eastern kind of backfill rotation into this compound, it's actually paying off huge.
Oh, my God. Michael with another one. He's got an SKS in hand. He's a crazy man. But I'll be having words with him later. That's disgusting. But anyway, they will find themselves a bit of an entry point here. That's a great start here for Yo. Who has had their trials that they've had to go through, right? Be it roster changes, be it, of course, a complete remake of a roster for Gems coming into the start of 2026. But now they're in the finals. They've got a few points on the board. They're moving on up. No slack. As I said before, very edge-heavy play. They came in super late. They've not taken any casualties to whatever what was going on the bridge. But now they might take casualties here. Spiro opens things up with a bit of a spray. Doesn't quite take him. Yes, he does now. Scav is down. That's the IGL down at the moment. And oh my days, now he's absolutely ripping them apart. It's all on Sata here to be able to do something. Does knock Spiro. Boostic's going to charge up a nade, and he's always accurate with these nades. IXE does not take enough damage. He's crawled away from that hillside. Can Sata somehow dislodge Boostic and get the rest of the team up? I don't think so.
Example gets the confirmation onto Spiro here now. The points are being stolen just a little bit to the side of it. The two other bled out quite quickly. And now it is Ferris to get inside the circle and Sata to try to make something happen here. A Na'Vi down to a 3-man. Still a strong Na'Vi and a scary Na'Vi, especially considering the control that they have. Next circle did pop here. Ascent is sitting dead center. Sad times that they lost Keter, but they're looking really poised for a high game point in terms of points and placement. Let's see how many kills they end up getting, though. Storm and Request, surely, and eventually he's going to take on S2G and Jogo Bonito. That's going to be difficult for those two pushes to come on in.
Why is Lou still on the bridge? Yeah, come back. Okay, maybe he's just going for his car now. He's going to be rendezvousing with the rest of the team. But yes, for now, here, you're right. Okay, are we going for a res?
That's crazy.
Into Ferry Pier?
Yeah, no, that's... It's one. He has 1 minute until the start. I don't think he has time for this.
No, I don't think so either.
This has got to be close at least. It's 3 damage per second in phase 4. Then it's 5 damage per second in phase 5. But there's a multiplier depending on how far you are away from the edge of the real zone. Zone. So I don't know. I think it's a little bit too chunky. It's already 4 damage per second. Look how much 5 damage per second now with 4.5 with how much he's taken. Oh, that's close. Yeah, it's not worth it. Yeah, he realizes. I've tried this recently. Actually, I was like, that's gonna be easy. It's only phase 4. It's only 3 damage per second. And then the further away you get, the more it starts chunking. And the multiplier actually had a buff recently, so it's more damage. This is, I say 20. Recently, we're saying within the last 9 months. But it was a silent update that didn't get, like the info has not been shared with how much the multiplier is, so people can't really calculate unless they try it, right? So it's a bit difficult.
Yeah, that was a bold maneuver, but not working on out here. Sata also picked up 20 first aids whilst he's over in the blue at the moment, and now Vitality is opening up against Yo. So they've tried to find themselves a little bit of a spot against one of those compounds, but it was a crash on through, and it's not been successful just yet. It's going to be up to Michael, really, to maybe something salvage go down. So, yeah, an odd one there by Lou. Bit of a miscalculation overall here, and that might actually cost them quite a bit. We'll see, as long as he can get maybe with example and Betulins. But for Levante and the boys trying to shut down the rest of Yo, I think Michael now. I wonder how much healing Michael's got left, because I don't think he's going to be able to get in anytime soon. He's going to try.
That's a big shift too. Vitality is really sitting up strong here. Look at Quizzy's location. I don't know if do they conclude and say, okay, let's just go to Quizzy's, the granny, or Levante's south position, or go to Hello My Bad for dead center. I think there's more points in staying in the eastern side and trying to locking people out. But this four-way split where you effectively don't really can cover each other. I don't know if it's going to be too bold of a strategy, because surely we're going to see someone try to backfill either Na'Vi and some of the other teams that's in that northern or western side.
Blue down to the blue. That is really not great there for Twisted Minds. But yeah, I think that I wouldn't even mind 2-2 across Quizzy and Levante's position. I think you could actually get away with it, because I think a lot of teams are very apprehensive about moving right now, and any moves that are going to occur are probably going to be on that west side. Obviously, they don't know entirely where all the teams are at the moment, but they can probably conclude that there's not many coming in from the east, right? Because you can actually get a lot of line of sight from where Vitality is on that eastern flank. As now, Yoga Benita trying to deal with Storm on request, who's having to make the move on down from this compound. This has actually been a pretty successful push so far from Yoga Benita, but they've lost, or at least Simon is down. They're going to have a few other teams maybe looking their way if they're not careful. They need to conclude this fast.
Yeah, S2G surely sends it into them. Oh, that's a great nade. Cooked a little bit too much, though. Kristalny trying to off-push them. And look at Kakatori going down as well to Medibay. Simon trying to be safe here. I like the delay that Yoga Benita's playing off this run res instead of overcommitting here. They also know that the S2G is coming in from the backside of them. More shots are connecting here from Kristalny. Good connections on both of them. Twisted Minds also involved in this Storm and Request fight that's eventually happening here. A lot of crunch on this western side here, James.
But the fact that Twisted Minds just decided, you know what, we'll insert ourselves within the middle of all of this, BRDM in hand, does cause some concern for these teams at the moment. As Kristalny, I've seen him playing night and day, just constantly in the lobbies here with the likes of Nixie. A lot of games been going down as well. Yoga Benita has been very keen to be able to make some waves here in this final. I've seen a lot of practicing, as I don't think I've seen many BRDMs drift in the past. There's a first for everything, and that was it.
There we go. Slaven finds Baron too. S2G now trying to make this push. I actually like the window of opportunity that they had, but yeah, let's see if they can survive and solve this one here. Good nades, good utility being committed here from Yoga Benito.
Yeah, it's SUG trying to get themselves a little bit of cover here. Lazar leading the charge alongside Quetpa. That's a perfect airburst nade here on Quetpa. Tough stuff here. Young Benito, though, still realizes that there's a lot of threats coming in behind them here. Navi's trying to make a move, as Hakatori did take some down. Boostic is currently knocked as well, though. Slafson doing quite a bit of work, but Kristalny is completely finished off by the fact that Hakatori's here. It's only unfair as no to try and do something, though. Tries to take down Slafson. Indeed, he does, but he gets shut down by a Storm on request behind him. It's an absolute massacre on the Western Front.
Yeah, and Storm Request surviving to the placement point is kind of surprising, considering those guys were the crunch targets. All of the teams on this western side here being absolutely smashed. It's like a agreement of mutual destruction. Only a few players left alive on both sides here. Vesi almost got nutty, but he survives here. Slaven might be able to be rest here, but now with S2G being the sole survivor, Sabila from the distance finds him, and now it's S2G to be that last team coming in from the western side.
PGG still got moves that they need to make, though, from that south position. For sure, and S2G has been offered a lifeline after that crunch, considering how many teams were looking down on them. And then eventually the backfill, very important to give them some opportunity on that side. At the same time, though, PGG moving in on that southwest side at the moment, so they might be wanting to try and find a little bit of an entry point here, but they're running to Ascend. Double nade from Chris and Kiliakai. Great things to be able to shut down PGG on their movement. Another nade, doing huge damage, and it's Salix. He dropped it as he got knocked. Oh no, for PGG. Where are they going to go, Martin?
That's going to be rough for them. They're going to have to try to send it directly towards maybe T-Bone's location, or some of the dips that's been created by the red zone. Kiliakai finds Ascent here. Ascent looking really strong. Another shot down here from Ascent. Kiliakai gets 3 of them.
Not bad, not bad. Will this do anything? It's just a blue zone nade, though, so even if it did do some damage, Kiliakai should be able to negate that. At the same time, though, Martin, while all these fights continue on the west side, I feel like Vitality's getting this for free, unless we get a hard north shift, which we can talk about how Bushido Wildcats emergency pickup got great cars, be able to take the spot super early in this game, but unless they get it, the shift, I think that they're trying to plan their move. You can see them all congregating on the south side of that compound there, understanding that they might need to make some desperate moves.
Actually, the way that Vitality played it with having someone out of the dips and the craters might have held someone off to take the Harry Potter. Currently open, currently available. So I kind of like that their greedy split, the kind of 4-way split even, paid off for them. And Hello My Bad still sitting inside the most central hardcover location. Let's see if that pays off here. Eventually, though, we're going to see S2G and Ascent fight, a 3v3 fight as the Doritos fall from the sky, and they try to roll them down into them and take some of that damage from it. Oh my god, Vitality is absolutely slaying them with that. A lot of damage done already. Has to duck down from Quetpa.
Still good resilience to be able to hang on at the moment. Digging a hole, turtling up, getting themselves bunkered down here. As Ascend still sees across the way. Nobody really wants to spend their utility just yet unless they know absolutely guaranteed They had a support box coming on in there for them as well, so they had some gear on board, but this circle leaves both Vitality and Bushido Wildcats in. It's the perfect split for effectively, eventually a 4v4 between those two teams, Martin.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen. I think Bushido Wildcats, they would be pushing onto the Harry Potter here, and then Vitality is going to try to get as many points as they can from the western side. Maybe we'll have one team that's kind of left to scraps, maybe 1 or 2 players left alive, but we'll have to see with Ascent. Eventually, he's going to have to defend this S2G push. I mean, the smartest thing now from Ascent is saying, all right, guys, it's very unlikely we're going to be able to survive to the circle here, so let's try to maximize our points. If we kill the 3 players that's up ahead of us, and the 1 placement points we get from that, that would give us 4 points. On top of the already 7 that we have right now, would be an 11-point game. So I really like the kind of hunkering down the receive from them. That's also what should be happening, because they're not the ones closest to the blue. T-Bone finds the first one. That's Lassa going down here. S2G losing a little bit of members already. And this defense spot that Kilyakai has hunkered down on is actually huge. Look at that angle. Oh my God. Beautiful.
Lovely stuff by Ascend. Really good. Now the problem is, though, they're going to have to push into this circle. Where can they go? They might try for a little bit of a wrap here. They do know where Twisted Minds is. They obviously know that some of the compounds are already taken because there's been shots going their way. And now, how do you solve this puzzle here, Ascend? What is T-Bone going to call for them to try and make an entry? 11 points, nothing to sniff at. The only problem, I think, for the rest of this lobby in a 15-game series is that Twisted Minds came in super late from that north side, and they're still almost at double digits in a game like this. They're crashing down the hill. Batul, as an example, ripped them apart. Oh my God, that was so fast as they came over the hill. Barely a blink of an eye there, Martin.
Yeah, that's a 3-point donation to Twisted Minds, and you don't want to see that early on. Now on 8 kills already, 13 points total for Twisted Minds, but as I said, Ascent got what they could and maximized as they could. But for an eventually a potential kind of top 4, top 5 fight, they could have considered a blue deny, but they knew that there was a 2-man, so I think a 3 versus 2, I would take that as well. I like the decision making here from Ascent. If they hadn't lost Keter, they might have had a bigger chance here, but he got knocked out early on, so sad times for them. But Vitality and Bushido Wildcats now, who takes this home, James?
My question to you is there a world, of course, where Twisted Minds just has quite the impact on... well, I mean, we might already have this answered, right? The fact that Bushido Wildcats already opens up with a knock, and Vitality feels like they have to make a move, whilst Bushido Wildcats isn't on the side of the circle with Twisted Minds, so there's less likelihood that they're really going to be too worried about Twisted Minds having huge impact on their game. They're expecting Twisted Minds to kind of look the way of Vitality at the moment, perhaps, when they have to move into the circle.
Also think there's the point of view that there's 2 free points over there. Let's make sure that's us that gets them and not Vitality. Considering both of these teams have been very heavily reliant on that circle positioning, only 1 kill for them. They've been peacocking way more than they have been fighting to make sure that they could stay 4 men alive. So they really want to get that 10 points for the chicken dinner. Twisted Minds, do they just give up the points here? Do they feel like they have a chance? Because then again, like, you're not playing it in a way. Oh, Petunians went out to try to get some util. No, I think he found nades maybe so he can make some cover to kind of go in towards the circle. Let's see though.
Frags.
Yeah, it's got a lot.
Petunians had 4 frags. I don't know how many example has this, but at the same time now, Bushido Wildcats using smokes to move up a little bit. They do still know exactly where Twisted Minds is moving around at the moment. It was a very smart smoke to be able to go into the blue and pick up what he did. Very important stuff. And again, all of that was probably Ascend's, right? So
7 nades still. Wow.
Yeah, they're opening up new craters for them to try and move into. This is important here for Twisted Minds, realizing that they really didn't have much cover to work with. So if we can smoke it off, create new craters, move forwards, maybe there's a world, maybe there's a lifeline where we can do something against these 2 teams that are 4-man alive at the moment. Whoa. That's a huge spray, though. He does a lot of damage, but he manages to duck and cover here, does Batulins, but he's going to be naded himself. It's in range now. This is great stuff by Vitality. That had to get rid of them.
There's no way you survived that. They needed more smokes, not more nades. Maybe 1 or 2 more smokes, and they had the chance to run in. Oh my God, Crossberg finds Getrox. Vitality down with 1 man here is crucial for this 4v4 fight that's just going to be happening now, James.
I love that he moved up a little bit, really kind of wedging himself up against Vitality, making it uncomfortable for them to move, as Gedrox now is going to be kind of... okay, I like the attempt, just in case it's the Molly coming on over, taking a few shots at it, just in case, but he's moved back in, and he does have a blue zone jammer pack, but I think he realizes he doesn't have enough time to be able to actually go for the heal there, so he moved out to keep himself alive and good to go.
The jammer pack keeping him alive is crucial there for Bushido Wildcats to keep this 3-man attempt to push in. And look at all that cover that's already been opened up around this rock here. That's huge. That's a big rock to have a peek from. Shots coming into. Oh my bad. He's down to nothing. With the VSS in hand, he's going to have to heal back up here, James.
Yes, he is. Still, Bushido Wildcats seizing some very important terrain here with this rock. That smoke is kind of line of sighting the position there from Vitality. Levante, is he digging a hole? Is he being a cheeky little boy over there in the middle of all things? Code Marco trying to peek the left-hand side of this smoke as well. What can he find? There's still the 4v4 going down, nade forwards, does a bit of damage to Celtic, but at the same time, he knows exactly where he needs to peek if another one comes along. Look at this. Very, very clinical.
That's opening.
A nade from Hello My Bad. Start things off, and Quizzy takes a second here, Martin.
That's huge. Celtic as well, still off this high ground positions. Yeah, he's getting shot as well. Medibay finds one. It's down to just Medibay here. 1v3, and no, it's Vitality just shot this one down here. The 4-way spread paid off hugely.
Their kind of go-to, they'll be happy. El Pozo. We've seen that a few times. It goes east, though. So for those that don't know, the zone has to touch the flight path, and it's pixel perfect as it just about crisps it and sends it to the east. Now, we've got to look at potential teams that will be looking for that rotation. One of the big ones for me, with S8UL not in the final, Martin, they will know there's a team not extending over to Impala as well. So it'll be interesting to see who gets in the cards and rotates early. We've got to look at Na'Vi. We've got to look at VP as well, because they had the capability to leapfrog ahead of a lot of this zone.
Yeah, this is the benefits of Navi's areas, the Cantera endings, especially what we saw at the PGS second go here. They've had a big chance, and this is a Navi home turf circle if I've ever seen one. After what we had in the first game with VP, they need to strike back if they want to win another one to come their way. Also, Vitality to come in of this southern side here, already gliding in. Levante, always good to see him on those head-to-heads, and some of the top damages is awesome to have Vitality performing here. What we saw, it feels like to me though, Mark, that we've forgotten about them a little bit last week, but they were still in a top 8 position. They still got the PGC points, so they can still lock down a Esports World Cup spot.
They can lock down an Esports World Cup if they get a good result here now. At the moment, no PWD, though, despite looking to try and leave, does have a nosy neighbour below. Here's the car. Looks going to try and take the opportunity. Diogo Benito has moved at Cristani, though, backing away from the door. Was it attempt fate? PWD moves away from the movements from Cristani below. I kind of feel like he doesn't know. And PWD took the bait that actually he might be looking to get in the car, but with a lot more movement, he now knows. Here comes the reinforcements. Dreams coming on the other side here. Yo need a big game as well. PWD now goes loud and proud as he throws out the first grenade. Smokes will then follow. PWD trying to find a position here in the secondary car. Now sees the head. Now looks for the opportunity. Gets the knocker. Simon will go down as he tries to be sneaky. And Cristani, well, he's got the shotgun. PWD has heard it. Now he looks to try and find the position where he can. Simon confirmed that. PWD keeping the pressure and the numbers, though, in the favour. Yo had a good game. One. And now they're looking to try and capitalise. That's huge. PWD gets their second, though. Cappy gets the first. And for Diogo Benito, a team that is hyper-aggressive, looks to be hyper-aggressive here, but found themselves stepping on a bit of a landmine. And for Team Yo, that is what the start they need to do as the game number 1 for them. Well, they got held out. They got held out of that zone, denied opportunity, especially from Vitality. Yes, they are kind of in zone now, but that's an early couple of points for them.
Oh, can we see Yoan get in? Or are they going to lock someone out here, Mark? That's my question about it.
Looks like I haven't got the information, though. That's the problem. What do you do now here, Martin? Get the chips, put it in the back of the car, and then just leave? Like, the movement from the team telling me that they don't know where the rest of Diogo Benito are. Yeah,
it looks like they're just going to grab the chips and maybe hold on to them. Maybe they can get a cheeky recall care package. But at least deny Diogo Benito for rest eventually here, especially with how everything is already central. For Yo, I would prioritize getting into some of the better compounds, to be honestly. But let's see here what they do. Hive, obviously, in a great spot already. They're going to go for a more greedy split. Howl with the X-Hall guys already in some good spots too, but I'm really looking at Navi in their area. Like, we've had so many endings kind of south of Kantara, and that's where I think it's going to be ending up as well for this one.
Yeah, especially with that drop zone, they extended out, they stretched out, they got the cars, they worked their way to their normal drop spot, right? They got the loot, the zone pretty much for them is centralized. I'm intrigued that we don't have as many teams across towards the east. We see a lot sort of play from that kind of Cantera out to the fields to there and Impala. So it'd be interesting to see actually if we do see another shift towards the east, we are going to have a bit of a mass migration here. And a lot of these teams potentially will fall during that period. But for now, most people are in. There's a lot of room on the outside edge. So some of these teams that are coming in quite late, they don't have to overextend if they don't want to.
No, for sure not. It's an interesting one, though, Mark. There's a lot of teams kind of colliding in their paths. And another one is Virtus Pro here with Yo trying to kind of rotate into and through the dirt road highway where Los Leones is. There's a little bit of a chase going on here. Virtus Pro is looking really actively for this fight here, potentially trying to deny a little bit. Soset coming in on the other side as well. Might have a big fight in between Virtus Pro. Look who finds Michael here. There's more shots coming in. James turns around with the barrel, finds Nixie.
I think he had the movement though, and he's prepped and ready. Lucarux though preps and readies the grenade, goes over the top, takes some damage as well. Has to try and back off, but Cappy does one. Cappy does a second, and Lucarux though goes down as he ducks into cover.
Looks like that VP is going to be on the receiving end of a lot of things in the first couple of games. Lucarux on the very top, shots coming in from BDD. A lot of damage done to him. Really well done here from Yo. A pull up onto Virtus Pro, but look at this. Nemesis looking at the distance, trying to scrap some points from it, steal a little bit away. They see them in the distance here, stayed. Taking shots against them too. It's turned around. A great headshot also. Straight towards them. Sosa's actually low. Beamy finds Sosa. It's an off angle. That's huge for Beamy.
That is huge as well. And plus for the information, right? Now, even for Team Yo, they know who that third party is. Melman causes some damage. Beamy has to slide away, but they're down to a duo here. Not the best start for VP. As they get overrun. For Team Yo, hyper aggressive, but it's working.
Yeah, it's working to destroy other teams. Let's see if they manage to recoup a little bit of their lost interest so far, though. With them already being locked down by multiple teams, it's going to be a little bit difficult to get out of Los Leones with any priority into the next circle. And then looting. I also see a few guys talking about my big headsets. I've heard a little bit about the guys saying we're going to go aggressive this week here. It's not the future here. It's the players' thoughts directly. It's kind of crazy.
I can see your headphones from space, mate. They're that big. Right.
I can see your hair from space.
On the rotation, STG, they're coming out the north side. Construction workers coming out south east. And Diffix though puts Michael down. The high ground is there. I feel like they felt like they completely disengaged. But for Team Nemesis, they left one behind. And they left a dangerous gun.
That's a little bit cheeky by Nemesis to set up a continued trap here. Yo has to fully disengage from this one. Obviously no slack. Coming in extremely slow here. Driving on the southern side and through Montenuevo here, probably going to go southwest from the same kind of entry point to the Los Leones highway that we're currently on here with IXE. Ascent has up shop here on the barefoot. Kind of like it with a little bit of a greedy split in between its crits and T-Bow holding on to it. If it goes deep southwest, they want an entry point and information off that road where a lot of teams are still going to be passing by. And when the last team has passed by, which is probably going to be either No Slack or some of the other teams if they go that way, then they know how fast they can kind of go in behind them here. Beamy's been found and flushed by State, but Carixi did find Diffix. That's a big name to take down too. Fex also joins in, and construction workers start taking shots. There's so many fights here in this eastern side of Los Leones. Mark, I don't really know. Is this worth it, to be honest?
Yeah.
Sure, you're getting some big names down, but I don't know.
They're so split. Everyone's really they're trying to do that kind of team vitality game one, conquer the terrain, spread out and farm the information. But everyone is coming into sight. Fex, well, he sees the Air Force coming into sight as he does try to reposition himself, gets himself into that car, and the construction workers took that south rotation and that coastal road into that southeast. And obviously they do have a clear run in all the way up towards Impala. But again, you look at the map and you see how split they are. One knock, that changes the game plan.
For sure. Although, with how the circle is, like there's so much unplayable already. Like you're only gonna take areas that you deem worthy to be played late game as well. Let's see where we do end up here. It's going to be a Cantera Minas proper ending here. Huge priority onto Hive and Howl. Bushido Wildcats also looking good. Storm and Request inside Minas, but that's usually very contested and you have to kind of leave it like a city. But let's see where we end up and let's see what Howl, what the ex-Howl guys ends up doing, as you see here on the map stream.
Well, he hasn't gone for that hard shift rotation, so I think a lot of teams will favour this north. For Na'Vi, I think it's a case of just kind of stick and pray that we might see a sort of shift back. Because we had, as you say, we've had so many come that way. For some of these teams on the outside, it's a commit, and it's a commit towards compound. Ascend, where they commit towards Na'Vi. Na'Vi on the split. Na'Vi has to collapse their split as well. As you can see, the reinforcements coming in from the east side. So Ascend have a limited amount of time, but they've full sense to the compound, and then they've thrown the anchor out.
All right. It's going to be a 4v4 with Na'Vi and Ascent here. This is crucial fight for both of these teams and for their campaign throughout this game and today as well. If you can win this one, you might be able to snowball a little bit. Shops are coming in as well. Hakatory filling in on that northeastern side. He's going to have a dirty off angle. The other guys have committed inside the hangar. Kidda on the other side here, he might be able to find some knocks and some damage onto these guys if they're able to come in and come around.
Damage goes back on the other side. A lot of grenades go back and forwards. Ferris, I think, was being sneaky about due to moving. Has been potentially found, but I have an idea that he is sitting there. He did have an outstanding quals and definitely stepped up to the plate. He has to step up here one more time. The smoke, well, it starts to bloom. The flash comes through. Boostic steps up to the plate, though. Shot goes through. Doesn't get the connections. He will retrieve back the flash. And now we see the spark is lit. The match needs to go. And when the explosive action happens, it's going to be quick. And it's an opening from Ferris.
Ferris finds Keta as well. That's 2 knocks from Ferris. He had such a great performance throughout PEC so far. And they continue here. Boosting down to 26, but he is not to be stopped. Pops up first hit and then might be able to get 2 more in. Someone might be able to backfill this now. Confirmations are coming in. Keter and Killikai is out. T-Bone finds Boosting though.
Yeah, got the information now. Grenade goes out the other side, bounces as it hits the wall just away. Does a bit of damage here. Spyro wraps his way around the other side. Molly goes over to the top. Spyro just waiting for the peak. He knows the next step could be quite critical as Chris repositions as well. Flash comes through, has to duck back, and T-Bone, well, he takes the opportunity now to cross a little bit closer. They're not close enough to stack up and go. Spyro is waiting for T-Bone to make the push.
Look at Ferris coming in with backup as well. Going to have a Molotov thrown again at that corner there. Another stun grenade and some blue zones and smokes are coming out. Lots of utility being committed to this fight here. If they can finish this off quick, it's going to be 4 big points for Na'Vi. Chris finds Sparrow though. That's a great headshot. Ferris finds T-Bone. Is Ferris going to kill all of them?
It feels like Ferris, though, is a one-man army at this point. Flash comes over. He lines up the M24. The jump shot and Ferris! Oh, my God. The pre-fire from his Chris is not enough when you've got an IGL like Ferris.
That's huge. It was Hakatory that ended up getting the points in, but the damage has also been done by Ferris. What a clutch from him, and nobody's backfilling the compound. Nobody's taking advantage because the compound is not center. It doesn't have high prior as is right now, but they are now going to be able to loot all of the packages here, and then we're going to have the next zone pop just shortly.
Yep. So we'll give away. I'm surprised no one backfilled it. No one backfilled the opportunity. Boy, Na'Vi cool laughing as they stay, they hold their ground, they collapse their 2-2 split, and they pray to the PUBG gods that they get the zone. It comes back their way. Cantera, as you say, it's another zone ending, and now teams rotate their way in. They're going to see an interesting where no stack go for me because they could come in behind kind of PGG, but they can also go around towards that top. Cantera is going to be a bit hectic.
Cantera is going to be fun. I really love the Cantera proper endings where you have the circles around the edges of it here. Look at the construction workers. They're currently gathering materials to start their work. But here we are. It is in the PC finals here. No more materials going to be needed. Michael and the guys here already having lost Michael's obviously huge, but P2D goes down to Schiller. Schiller was a huge name throughout PEC, and now he takes a stand once again.
Just stays down once again. PWD though bleeding out though. Cappy is on one today. And he just stacks up and takes in the sub or the coach. Lazar goes down. Sheila pre-fires in towards the doors. James trying to catch the rotations. The Sharks, Mess2G rotate their way around as they try to find entry in towards his compound. James steps up, steps forward. Cappy down to 1 HP, but he gets another knock though and does the job one more time.
Oh my God, James, what a peek with the barrel. Takes Baron down.
Stolen.
And a 2v1 for Yo. 6 kills already here, Mark. This is a huge game for them, and it's big names that they've taken out already.
I feel like this is like, they just don't care. They're just playing aggressive. They're going and finding people in front of him, and that's the next target they acquire. Yo have lost PWD, have lost to Michael, so they are down to 2. Construction workers, though, you said they're finding materials. I think they're trying to mine. That's their outside minutes generators at the moment. Cappy, though, well, he's looking for gold. He's looking for gold another way as he's driving forward to get more points on the board.
Stun grenade goes out. He's going to have to wait a little bit for this one here. Sheila tries to send it around. One more stun goes in. Now it's going to be a 2v1 situation with the barrel in hand here for James. A lot of damage can be done. They have no idea where he's gone, so they're going to have to look for him.
Yeah, Sheila, great move. The Flash took the opportunity. He's going to get the sound cues now. He has to hit the click of the grenade. Grenade goes out the window. He goes for the peak, but they've gone the other way. The car, well, it's going to explode. And he's got one. Oh, nearly getting a second. And Cappy steps up one more time.
Huge play here for Copy. Nobody's going to backfill this fight either. A third party.
What?
It looked like Construction Workers was kind of sniffing at it, but it does not end up like this. And this is another decent game for Yo. 7 kills to come their way so far. And sure, they're down to a 2-man, but if you can keep this 7 points per game average up, you're going to be absolutely fine. So well done, lads. Next circle pops here. And I know, Mark, that you're crossing your fingers for a proper Cantera ending.
It'd be good. It would be good. We get the outside edge quite a lot. I'd love it to go central. We'll wait and see. Zone is about to give way. Construction workers didn't attempt to leave their location. They have dug in.
Look at that.
Cantera's in. It's in. It's going to need a big hardship for it to stay in here. But the south side, Team Nemesis got the numbers back up. Our Noslack team coming on the south side as well. Jogo Benito stored down some bodies as their reinforcements, their recalls have only got one option to go, and that's into Cantera.
And with Bushido Wildcats kind of assembling on one side, that might ending up being a way where they have a way in here. Might be able to pick up a few guns, pick up a little bit of util, some vests, some helmets. Bushido has not too much of an idea yet, I think, that it's 2 men to just insert themselves into this one here. Vitality's aggressively taking a stance against Bushido here. Looks like they're crashing on this northwestern side, Mark, and taking the outskirts of Cantera inside the crater.
Not a bad play for them. They'll give them, they've got a little bowl they can play from. They're hoping for it to leave, though. Construction workers starting to pay off that they have dug in. They have found gold, and one of them is in the way of Storm on request. So it will fall down. Vard able to try and peek. He's got 3 grenades as well. There goes one. They know there could be danger coming. The grenade bounces off. And he boosts the car, though, as he gets a safety push, though, from the construction workers.
Yeah, that's a good way for them to extract here. They might be able to get into that next ball, and a lot of big esports moments has happened in that ball and around this area here. So we continue to strike and make more history. Get Rockstars find Vessi, and Storm and Request is on the receiving end of a lot of teams banging on them, and they're out in 14th place.
That car must have had some momentum to run straight into the other teams on the other side. I like those Lack's position as well. They've gone to the outside, so they're trying to put their backs now against the blue and have the opportunity to look on in. Team Vitality does have one down. Fante needs to try and get rezzed up here because he holds back slightly. I think he's just trying to piece together the puzzle. Back on that north side, though, James, they rotate their way around and out of danger. They do find themselves in the line of sight for the construction workers.
Yeah, it's a good way to peacock and push teams away here to make sure that they don't enter from their location. They want to be that only team in from that northern side so they can sweep the edges here. Kovalevi does find Kapi. Kapi's down there with a long shot from Noslack. That's going to be an easy flush to come into. Maybe a steal if construction worker sniffs that out. Sata stealing tires.
So Michael, he might have gone for the recall, right?
It's phase 4, so it's possible.
Yeah, Cappy's gone down. He was on this ledge. I think, again, you can see his body in the distance there. I feel like he's gone round. James has got, look at 24 meds, 100%. At least he's going to be able to get some back, not all. And I think also he's just seen the players in the distance. He can't do it.
With the tac pack, Mark, a big strategy as we see construction workers actually finding multiple players on Twisted Minds. Petulins finds Vex. I'll continue what I said just before. Pixelic finds Example. That's big names to take down here. Twisted Minds just down to 1 player. And Betulin's got to heal up, and he's up to 75 HP, but he's going to have to try to make a push and try to squeeze 1 more point out as Pixelix drives in, tries to do a drive-by onto potentially Twisted Minds here. He's in the smoke. There's X-ray on for us here, but he's spotted. Naleb finds them. Boostix also finding PGG. And construction workers being able to hold on to this northern side. We do have the western side of Kantara in, but Noslack's going to have to make moves, and construction workers can have to defend this northern side. But as I said with the tactical pack, Mark, as I pass it on to you, you can put in jammer packs into the 3 spots. So it's effectively 100 healing that you can instantly pull back if you find a lot of the blue zone packs. So it's kind of smart way to do it.
The downside he's got right is that for him, the best scenario I think would have been a Twisted Minds winning that fight, because they may or may not have seen the rotation coming in from James. But with construction workers winning that fight aggressively and quick as they've done, they can focus their attention because they know they're store a solo somewhere in the north. So good play from him. We just have to wait and see how it plays out.
Let's see how that evolves here with Navi now getting some riches and some rocks to play with here. No slack on that eastern side here. And eventually we're going to see a lot of teams fighting inside Kantara. Now Diffix finds Sloyd Jacket. Sloyd Jacket did find Soset as well. Hakatoli stolen here with the Soset kill. That's big points to be confirmed. Diffix confirms Sloyd Jacket though. Now PGG and Nemesis is going to have big fights. Look at Nodi though. Joker Magneto still outside the zone, trying to heal, trying to get in here, Mark.
He's going to cause huge problems, especially if they take a knock. Grenade goes forward, downstairs it goes. He does get it. Melman delivers the post, and he delivers it perfection. There's one. Looks like for the confirmation though with a second. Does get the confirmation. Navi causes some problems though. Puts him down to 18 HP. And for Noddy though, again, if you see a player in front of you medded, do you take the opportunity to take the shot?
Stayed finds good damage onto Boostic here. That off angle was not expected. Spiro does find Stayed. I think he might be safe res inside where he actually is. Bleeds out as well. Spiro gets it. Melman finds Salik. PGG falling apart here. And it's just Navi that's on the winning end of this fight here. They're holding out both PGG and Nemesis. Noddy was found by Kovalevi in the distance too.
Yeah, Fortuna, it's a bit of a rough start. I like the aggressive, we saw them sort of play on top of Lost, but the Lost bodies after that. And for them, not a bad game, finding 5 points, Store in it, still got 1. And back to the kind of, I suppose, the main part of the chaos as Kantara is now starting to leave. Jogabenito have to make the move. Cristani finds Scavs. Only does go down towards zone. And Celtic does find Cristani as well. So it's all down to Simon here. 1 man, 1 shotgun, and 1 Panzer.
Makes dreams work and makes everything play. Yo goes down in 11th place here. James falls out short. Let's see if we can see the teams on the southern side finish this one out here as Simon tries to survive for a little bit longer with a shotgun and a Panzer. Tries to sneak in, tries to get into the edge of this, but Bushido Wildcat holding this one out aggressively. Eventually we're going to see Vitality and Bushido fight, but where does No Slack go? We're also going to see construction workers and Hive have a go at it on the northern side. But Navi does have the biggest benefit of this circle here, Mark.
Yeah, I'm interested where No Slack go. They've obviously gone for a split, and obviously they have some high ground, some dips in the middle of them. Vitality reinforced that side, but we saw them playing here as well, so they're going to be fortified and waiting for anyone coming from the east. Simon's going to be a bit of a problem. Construction workers also going to be a problem, but for me, construction workers playing to Team Vitality, maybe. There's No Slack get involved. They do get involved early. IXE pops up over the top, though. It forces the construction workers to stop, and IXE sees a 4-man running his way, and he drops down as he finds some cover.
Goes for the stun grenade, tries to set up shop on the other side here, but then it's going to be difficult for him to survive this one. They can commit maybe 1 nade or 2. Sata also taking damage now. That's actually really a huge amount of smokes here to defend their spot, to have a little bit of insight to work with here. They wanted to go deeper, I think. Get Drugs just got found here by Schengen, though, as he confirmed Dante.
For that confirmation, done, dusted. Schengen does find Jedrock, so it goes round. Zone obviously shifts towards that south side. Navi in full control, full flight though as the grenades come out. Vard gets some damage. The third one might be more, but it's not. It does do some more damage, but gets to get the knock. And Team Vitality though haven't had too much pressure for a while, so they can launch all of the utility where they can. But construction workers, they've backed up against the blue. Now they back up into the car, and now they look to migrate their way into zone.
Oh, good shots here with the barrel from Rocks. Hackatori does into the fight too. It's going to be difficult for Hive to survive for much longer. Hackatori takes all the points onto Hive, and construction workers are going to be able to deploy a little bit of smokes and actually might be able to get a little bit deeper into this game here as they're into the top 8 here, Mark.
Yeah, again, Na'Vi giving him a bit of a pass, right? Akatori, not just one, but two. So be happy. Construction workers, though, after mining, they have to mine their way forward, though.
Oh.
And Simon had the Panzer, and he books it to full effect. Crossberg will go down. Fex goes down towards the zone. Go Marco has to try and find another opportunity. He can hear the footsteps on the outside, but he mostly heard the click of the shotgun. So he has to keep the distance in between him and Simon.
Might be able to get this one up here. Levantify Pixelating. More shots coming in here. Presenti. Oh, that's huge. Na'Vi still on the receiving end on a little bit of fights here, but they do look like they are poised for this win with this southern shift here, Mark. Look at that. That's huge.
Na'Vi again and again, they are just holding the zone, and they've got this ridge line. Spyro holds that southwest, so he's trying to stop any team sort of rotate run that way. In this case, is X-How. If they can hold teams at bay, they should be able to farm additional kills and steals from this location. And I love that we see a potential C4 from Selecto right on top of the heads of No Slack.
Na'Vi Eastern control here with Bushido Wildcats and No Slack. This fight, though, eventually going to be happening with No Slack and Bushido. That's already going on even. 6 kills already for No Slack. They're looking to continue their campaign for the PGC points and their road to Esports World Cup and PGS, and even to secure themselves a spot onto this PNC roster that's going to be coming from Finland. Celtic, though, finds Scav. That's a huge angle he has from the high ground.
Yeah. I keep forgetting about the PNC performance here matters, and there were so many teams looking to try and get into the final to secure their spot. So it's going to be down to how they step up. And for Comarco, it was easy to try and hold that one. So unable to get close enough. Now it's to try and draw his attention. They've got to be careful as well, because if they come to that sort of doorway, Na'Vi, if they had the opportunity to peek over, they should be able to see the feet first before they even get an idea where Na'Vi are positioned.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see where we go with this one. Ah, great angle here from Celtic. Finds Kovalevi here. No Slack out in 6th place. Code Margo, easy flush here. Oh my god, Na'Vi is absolutely bombing this lobby here. 12 kills so far, Mark. Surely they are going to be continuing to end up on 15 plus, maybe even 20 plus, with 13 players left alive.
Just said, if they have a good day number one, that sets them up. Definitely a momentum team, and it's scary if Na'Vi start the momentum off in game number 2 here. First, we'll try and hold. Your heavy utility is not really a thing, but they do have the smokes if they have to move, but the zone has been the blessing. They've got the nice hold. We've seen the pickaxe on the other side, so they've reinforced, they've trenched in their positions. And for X-How, they find the confirmation. Ahead of my bad, does the damage. There's 1, 2. Na'Vi finished off 5, and then we find ourselves in the top 4.
All right. Akatori getting out of out here, and Vitality only down to 1 player. Mark, it's massive, but can X-How close this one out and maybe open the door onto a Na'Vi that's been looking unstoppable so far in this game? MP5 in hand and a bolt, the classic setup, but only 70 HP. He doesn't have a stim, he doesn't have a booster, he doesn't have anything to get him that last 30 HP. And to go up against a fight onto Na'Vi, you're going to need every single point of HP to push and to make sure that you can get as many points out of this game as possible.
The biggest thing for me is Na'Vi's control. They are pushing the teams together. They are holding the front line. And for, as you say, for like X-How, they're down damage. They haven't got the stims. They haven't got the utility. They can't find an opportunity to get in. It's just going to be down there whether Na'Vi can pick up the kills, pick up the steals, though, on this north side. 13 kills, top 4. Na'Vi, they've had a successful game 2.
Absolutely insane, yeah. For them to get this many points. Spirit tries to push a little bit, but the Mad does find an off angle on him. Ferris, they are split a little bit in their attention. Maybe they need to commit a little bit more to this X-How fight here. They're looking to maximize their points, looking to get every single point squeezed out of this game. They know that there's 2 Bushido Wildcats down in the ball. They want to make sure that they can get those 2. Hello, my bad. Might have a fight with one of them, though, but X-How also has the off angle here. And let's see how Na'Vi kind of tries to position himself with this one here. X-How is looking to stack up. More shots coming in for Ferris. He does have a really good angle to close off the Bushido Wildcats players trying to get into the zone mark. Oh my God.
He has to control that ammo now. 75 over 2 with 5.56. He's got enough to clear it, but he has to make sure he makes those effective sprays like you saw. Head of my bag will fall down. 4th place for them. Here comes the first initial spray though. Does get the damage, does get the final before he gets in towards cover here. Now he looks to try and find the final player going out towards the balloon. Oh my God! Na'Vi and Ferris, what are you feeding this guy?
Ferris has had such an amazing showing in PEC so far this year. 7 kills, more damage than Hackatory, almost a 1K club for Ferris. I wrote to Alrain last week. I said Ferris has been such an absolute force to be reckoned with so far, and I'm really happy to see him involved as a player, as an IGL so far. And look at that, 1,022 damage for this man.
This is the era of these kind of killer IGLs, right? Historically, they're always the ones making the plans and not getting the kills, and it's accepted. And we've seen team after team step up, but now the Mad steps up. Spyro goes down. Ferris hits the spray, but again, he's limited when it comes down towards ammo. So has to be careful. He drops the mini though, so he's going to be able to put a little bit more 5.56 in his back pocket. But is it a little too late? We'll have to wait and see.
I have to see if they can close this one out here. 4v3 obviously down with a little bit, but still some stun grenades, some utility still in hand here to make an opening onto this one here. I feel like Hackatory's off-angle position inside a little bit of a ridge is actually going to pay off huge, but does Ferris get caught off guard with his push here? No, he does have really good ridge to work with as well.
Hackatory's trying to dig to the center. That's where he's just getting the center dot. He's just digging down to it because he's right on the money.
It's looking good. Oh, Panzerfaust as well in hand here. Oh, Ferris does drop his secondary gun, and he starts to redirect some of the terrain here as Boostic finds the mat, and a flush on him too. That was quick.
Here comes the push. He sees the body. Oh my God! Boostix finds the head though. Oh, he just will fall down. And for how they had the position, they stacked up. Now they stack and go. The MP5. Well, that's going to do the damage. Hackatory already on the dot. He's on the money, but he has to try and find it. 2 versus 2. XL trying to get the high, but the train dig down for Na'Vi is going to be to the advantage. But Ferris is going to have to move first.
A full information on these two players and their position. More shots coming in here now with the 3x and the MP3 here. Good shots coming in. Shipless does find 1, and the confirmation 2 coming in on Boostic. It's going to be rough.
He's taking the fight on the other side. The MP5. He puts it down to a 1 versus 1. Now it's going to go. Hackatory picks it. Hackatory gets the win. Oh my God. Na'Vi is 20 kills. A 30-point game. Oh, what a game though. Na'Vi home turf, but they convert huge numbers, Martin.
That was an absolutely insane game. And for them to start the way they did as well, defending their compound. Sure, they did have the southern shift, but they had to fight through every single enemy, every single team here, James. What a way to start Miramar off here.
Oh, the finals have started so fantastic already. I can't even believe that we're turning our attention to Na'Vi, and Ferris is just firing on all cylinders, despite being Hackatory there, despite Boosted there, despite Spiro there. Ferris looked excellent in all of this, and yeah, I can't believe that this is already Na'Vi showing this kind of quality in this final.
Which I said in that pre-show, like Na'Vi always come home strong, right? They're always in it for the marathon. But this is scary. Na'Vi are starting really strong.
Yep.
We know they can keep up that momentum. We know they can keep up that pressure. Yes, they got a bit of home turf luck here. They dealt with the crash from Ascend, and then they dealt with the zone and terrain really well. All the teams at bay, and they maximised out 20 kills here for game 2.
Definitely a tough one, right, Martin? I mean, a lot of these teams really committing to Cantera Crater means that, unfortunately, if you have to come out of it, then suddenly Na'Vi laying in wait to be able to shoot everything that moves coming out. X-Howl is there as well. You can't even really push into them. I thought actually X-Howl was going to win this when you saw the angle that I think Nail Cup was able to take where Hackatory was, but I think he missed quite a few of the shots against Hackatory at these moments. Was it Nail Cup?
There was a little bit of shots coming in. He's down to 13 HP here, and this was where, like, okay, surely he wins, but the ditch that Hackatory had dug himself to make sure he could get these peaks out was just absolutely disgusting. Look at that. Only one other team to get double digits. 30 points.
A 30-point game, a 20-kill game. I don't think anything has beaten that so far across PEC.
Seconds away before we get to the zone.
Yeah, let's see where this first circle goes as Na'Vi is continuing their onslaught for this one here. Joker and Benito is going to be on the receiving end And Simon goes quick. Do they take his chip? I wonder. Put it in the
100%.
car and steal it.
100%. You know that's in there as well. He just had to give up, and Na'Vi see the second target. Zone has gone down to the southeast, so we actually go all the way down to Songam. Interesting zone. The high terrain Buksang is also in as well. So for a lot of these teams like Na'Vi that are migrating that way, they might want to continue the pressure onto Jogabini. Maybe you can hear the zone. What did the guy say? That this is the 9th wonder of the world that you've produced on PEC finals.
You use way too much AI, and stop telling our production to do these funny things. It makes me laugh as well. And I know the chat is loving my satellite-connected headphones here. I'm getting information from the aliens. I'm getting information from outer space with these ones. To be fair, it is the most comfortable headset I've ever had. But maybe tomorrow I'll look into a different option for tomorrow, just to continue the meme maybe. But Mark, I gotta point this one out though. This is the second circle where the circle barely touches the plane path, which is making so many teams having to make huge rotations and also having to rotate through a lot of the other teams' paths. So it messes with the kind of timing of their strategy. It messes with the priority of where they're kind of going in here. So let's see how this kind of evolves with Yo already being posted up central and Joker Benita being central, but having lost one player is going to have quite the impact.
Team Ascend, a good start from them. Are currently in 6th place. Shout out to old Gideon out there as well, giving his the cheer for the German lads. I had to remind him that there are some other players from other nationalities in Team Ascend. But no, good start from the team, a very good start from the team, led by T-Bone. They've got to decide where they go, and I think for the zone, coming back to your point, the zone, it's going to be about timing, because obviously with so little of the zone touching the flight path, there's going to be a lot of choke points that these teams are going to bottleneck in. So it's a little bit of a risk versus reward, but I really like what Team Yo have done. They've already played to a central, I suppose, the southwest area. They've taken some compounds. I think they might chip away and see how much more they can take off.
Yeah, I'd like that. I mean, then again, like if they have a high prior spot here, they should take a 2-2 split and locking down some of those compounds. We know it kind of ends close to, or compounds where you have a great kind of fighting line where you know no matter where the next circle goes, you have a place to go to either fight or to occupy or to get points from. So it's kind of good here. Bushido Wildcats as well, also moving in from this northern side, but Ascent might be catching these guys with baseball gloves coming in from this other side. Let's see how this evolves and if they're going to be chasing them a bit away. T-Bone really setting up for some aggressive peaks here. Off for the rock here. So coming in.
Knows that rotation, but he doesn't know.
That's
I
a
think
good
he
pop.
just caught the tyre. Yeah, he got the tyre. Doesn't know about the other player. Now it's the momentum going. I think we're going to be caught out here. T-Bone looking to try and take advantage. Code Marco has lost the tyre, but he's found the new ridge. But it's Chris, M249 in hand, and he's a predator with some prey that's limping in front.
He might be able to find one here. These guys are just trying to pass on by and pass on through. That's more good shots coming in, not connecting damage-wise, but the car is battered, Mark.
Absolutely destroyed, but yeah, not enough to get the convert. It's Chris, took the ridge line early. We've seen this from Team Ascend sometimes, kind of a hold on this bridge, and I think that's why they're sort of pushing to their drop spot to be in that kind of fishing camp area, but it's one of those kind of, we spoke about it with Team Nemesis, one of those kind of telegraphed areas that the expectation is to have someone there. So nice move, actually. Especially Wildcats obviously used the ridgeline, used to train well. Yes, they did lose a tyre, but they're able to swap that car out and find themselves in safety.
Oh, more shots coming in towards Naleb. He could go down once again to copy here, but it's not happening here. The lockdown on the 2-2 split is greedy, but it's paying off. It's not worth with the information that they've had already, that it's at least 2 guys here. Now that the fight has been happening for quite a while, they know it's 2, so they could go and say, all right, let's just take this combat away from these and get these 2 free points, because it's a really decent spot here, and it's kind of close to a rest station as well.
It is, and we saw it obviously when it first came out, the team started to reposition to some of those compounds, because those recall stations can make big changes. As we saw, a big change from that pickaxe in that last game actually made a big change towards Na'Vi, be able to stay a little bit cool in the centre. Just in mind though, staying calm as S2D shooter does have the glider above, but it's more of an information gain. That glider's not coming out of the skies just yet.
I don't think so. He whips out a M249. If it gets too close, going to do some damage to it. And with this zone and how it kind of evolves, it's a lot of team that's going to be slow. One of the teams that is going to be slow is Hive, but they do have a glider. They do have a gas station where they could go and fill it up. Boosting this, get the confirmation onto Celtic here. And No Slack's going to be one of the last teams to leave this northern side. Especially with leaving the Yongchong bridge as comes across here. Kovalev and the guys are scouting to see if they can get bridge camped or not, but looks like they're not gonna be. This might be one of the kind of slower games with how everything is kind of evolving itself, but there's also so many areas marked there. Once you see the second and third circle pop, there is some god compounds that teams want to fight for and kind of lock down early. That's why the 2-2 splits are so ever prevalent here on Tego.
Especially for this circle, right? For me, obviously, you've seen so many of these. The water in that sort of northwest, we see it sort of play up to there quite a few times. But also Songam, we've got a bit of water down there. I know they're hard shifts based on these zones, but a hard shift down or a hard shift north. And that's where those kind of 2-2 splits will play into. Ascend, on the other hand, they up to try and hold out Bushido Wildcats. Now they're going to try and stay as a 4. And again, they haven't got the information, so why the rotation? On the other side for them, they're going to try and stay in the cars. They've got 2 minutes though before we see the next zone.
Oh, that's a lot of damage done to S2G here. PGG does push him away. Presenti managed to get a reload here. Still has a 3 vest. Oh, I like that. He puts the 2 helmet into the car to go and grab the other one here to have a spare helmet. A huge strategy you should be applying to your game as well. Make sure you stuff your cars with extra util, with extra helmets, and potentially guns if you need it.
And the pickaxe. The pickaxe is the one. That's what you need to definitely get in the back of the cars. As, we've seen so many plays, and again, even for that game number 2, kind of was that conversion for the potential that Na'Vi actually was able to use the train to their advantage. And there's that recall station now. Team Vitality on the other side of the zone. They're out towards that east. No Stack, though, coming in that sort of north side again. South of Terminal, lots of splits, but they've got lots of drops, so they'll be able to take kind of a little bit of a break here and re-energize, restack those cars with level 3 armor and gear. But for now, 50 seconds before we see the next zone go. Gotta take the DPS. You know you want it.
Put it in the car at least. You have a big car with 400 capacity. That gun is crazy on close range. Hybrid scope as well. Oh, I wish the hybrid scope was a 2.5 or 3.5 x instead of the
I quite like the 1 and 4. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it at the moment. I like
3 would be perfect, but I think it should be something different, you know? I don't think it should occupy a space that is already taken by another scope. I think 2.5 or 3.5 would be perfect in between, you know. So then you could also have it own slider. That the 1x is the 1x scope or red dot array slider. So you can kind of have a different magnification for them, and also the multiplier. Let's see where we go with this circle, though, Mark. It's gonna pop and. Oh, it's going to go east. We're going to have some Ouyang. It's going to be this south of Buksang Signing that we've had quite a few of. S2G looking poised for this one. Construction workers also have really high prio inside this one. Vitality. Look at the space they have from the east, basically occupying, 30% of that eastern side to themselves.
That sort of song I'm holding on to the zone, clawing onto it. It comes down towards that south side. Southeast we go. PTG with that big cold. I'm interested to see actually if they keep that 2-2 split. Actually, Nixie does fund an opening as the man goes down. They are chasing their way now into that sort of northwest side of the zone. But look at the migration we spoke about. Loads of teams are colliding. VP, X-How with No Slack entering and Na'Vi already positioned up.
Oh, No Slack losing Kovalev here. Spyro finds it. More shots as well towards the other guys. A little bit rough for these guys. They thought that the other teams are going to be leaving or trying to get into some of these areas here, but nope, it's not going to be it. Michael does find Pixelic here. Big fight between construction workers and Yo.
I want to say construction workers don't pitch up. Nadem goes down though. Cappy is just on form today. Whatever's working for these guys, they need to try and stick. And I know they changed and reconfirmed who's IGL 1,000 times over, but it is looking good. Vard, though, takes his break. Vard does get Cappy down as Cappy gets that confirmation. But PWD swinging around the adjacent side. Vex is going to fall. He's down to PWD and Michael here. But again, you've got Vard. Vard back in the corner. And VP's backfitting here. This could be catastrophic for PO.
Oh, they also saw the knocks here, so they could get some flushes quite easily if they can sweep in and get the Geem's been found as well. Copy's off to the distance. Now they're looking to come in and clean up here. That's a great third party with so many knocks on both sides here. Market trying to get a win. Oh, he's trying to get away from it. Driving off. Look at that. That's another confirmation. Another steal off the knocks as well. Going off the pockets away from construction workers. And Yo is being absolutely disassembled here.
Look, I'm going to say it's the first time we've seen an effective third party so quick as well. VP looking to climb the leaderboard, and that was telling to understand the kill feed read, understand the knocks, and was able to capitalize up into the position. Though Vard will still hold on for the construction workers. They've got 1 point, but they're down to 1 player as well. And for Team Yo, they need a reset, and I'm worried they've been building momentum. Will that put a stop to it?
Slow Jacket just find Beamy here. A little bit of another third party for PGG coming in here, Mark. And Slow Jacket got some damage. Is he going to back off and maybe go back to Salik? I think so. It would make sense. They have kind of hungered up inside this brick building and compound. Now that's going to have to be on a solo mission here. Is he going to destroy some dreams on someone driving past? Somewhat of a landmine with this one coming in. But PGG locking down a 2-2 split on some of the 2 most valuable compounds currently, Mark. So they could have a good game. We've been talking about them being able to qualify from day 2 in playoffs, on both playoffs. Very impressed with that, but let's see how far they can take it here in the second finals, Mark.
To that area. Bugsung start. Mr. G worked their way in. Twisted Minds waiting. It's difficult to cross in with Sheila. It's a lot of terrain. He has to sort of disengage and work his way back on that low side. So that might be a bit of a standoff for a while. No slack though on that rotation round. They're kind of keeping Bushido Wildcats at bay. The zone shifts back down towards that southwest now. Team Nemesis had the emergency pickup, but no need to take it. And again, comes back to PGG, have a 2-2 split. Do they continue to hold? Because that south compound is super, super high if someone wants to crash in.
Yeah, it is. It's not a 2-man compound, that's for sure. Bart now gonna try his hardest to find a ditch and a push to try to survive for as long, and maybe he can squeeze out a placement point with all the teams coming in from the northern side and the eastern side. So many teams are gonna try to fight at the exit of Butsansa. Vitality holding onto that eastern side, just west of Ouyang as well. Joker Benito coming in south. Surely Simon dives to someone here. He does not find somewhere to live and survive. He sees the ants down on the ground. He's so high up in the sky.
I think it's okay, because you've got to remember his team are coming in that southeast corner, so I think that's why he's been turned away. I think he's seen, obviously, the players there, so we'll have to wait and see. Construction workers, though, Vard, he's not finding somewhere to go to ground just yet. He's finding somewhere to take him and his one-man vehicle. But Hive, though, they're getting dispatched, but so is Joker Benito. Goes head-to-head, but on the crash comes in, Team Vitality on the hold as well. But you know, Wildcats, they come for their crash as well, as Levante launches a grenade, but doesn't find any hope.
2 guys on other sides, and they're going aggressively towards him. That's going to be an easy peek here. Also gets found by Code Marco. Great trade here. Chrissy tries to come in and backfill this fight here. The damage has already been done. Are they overcommitting to this fight, or just trying to get the points off Bushido Wildcats quickly? One.
He's back points now. There goes another one. Confirmation done for Gwizzy. Someone request, though. They are getting rid of Joker Benito pretty quickly, and the kill feed, as you can see. Team Vitality going for the high ground here. Bushido Wildcats on the other side of the road. It's a bit of a reset as his team swap over, because he has to go down belly, as he has to try and find opportunity to get to that wall. And for Head of My Bad, well, he is separated, and he's meta bait. Grenade is ready. Doesn't know exactly where he is, but I feel like the second grenade is going to come into this room.
Good positioning here from Hello My Bad. Picks up the Panzerfaust, can maybe get out, get some damage done. Swaps quickly over to Vard. Panzerfaust there. That's some quick swapping on the observing here. Medibay, lots of damage done to him. Another Panzerfaust picked up. This man has so many Panzerfausts, I can't keep up with how many he has.
He's positioned, he marks them all out. He knows the defensive plan. And not bad, has the bush in front of him, and unfortunately for him, he doesn't quite see the line of sight that he wanted to. Jedrox comes to the reinforcement, the spray comes through, the door obviously is open though. He does get a connection, reconnection comes through, spray comes through, 14 HP here for Jedrox though, as he looks to try and go for the flash, doesn't go for the reload. Now he's going to try and make the charge, and he's down bodies in code marker, repositioned, and kill confirmed.
It's huge. Great play from Bushido Wildcats here. And Code Marco evolving. As we see the next circle pop southwest here, straight onto Hive and Ascend and Nemesis. This fight on the eastern side is going to continue. No Slack trying to hold out Twisted Mind. S2G, VP, and Navi's going to have to make moves.
Right moves now. I think Ascender got a bit of a blessing. That longer hold out for them, that longer rotation has paid off. They're actually now backing up towards the outside edge. T-Bone's made a call for a defensive play. Team Vitality down bodies. Still quite fine meta bay here. They know he's out this side, and with so much attention drawn this way, Quizzy has to get locked in. But with 23 seconds left, it is phase 4, and they have to get moving.
Oh, great angle here from Quincy with the barrel. Finds Metabay confirmation as well to go out. It's 2 points for Vitality, but look at Twisted Minds. They are sharks in the water on this eastern side, trying to maybe third party, trying to maybe clean up and jump ahead of them, leapfrog into the circle, and eventually hold this team out. As the circle starts moving now, it's phase 4, 3 damage per second. It's going to chunk a little bit and also be a little bit annoying here. Crossberg with the offhand. I think Quizzy has a great opportunity onto Crossberg here.
I think that's the first flash. I think the second will go forward and try and charge their way forward, though. But this is a two powerhouses go together. Boostic find Diffix. though. Spray comes through on the other side. Sparrow pops the smoke. It's going to give him the cover. It's going to give him the opportunity now to move because he knows the information is being given here by Diffix. And that's why the grenade has changed its flight path, though. Grenade goes back. For him, he's still getting called out. Diffix, though, still providing critical information.
Stick having found 3 points already for Navi now. Goes down to Soset, confirmed from Melman as well. And on the other side with Code Marco finding Quizzy, Bushido Wildcats in the upper hand here. Now Exhal and S2G is going to have a fight here. The Turkish rosters up against each other. Schiller goes down with Nail Cup finding it. Beamy finds Kovalev in the distance as well. And Exhal might be able to finish this fight off quick if the utility lands in the right spot. Laza finds one. Baron finds the confirmation too. S2G looks to be on the upper hand here.
I do. I'm surprised because it's quite difficult to fight uphill, especially coming in quite late. XL only able to get the knocks that they needed. It is kicking off on the other side, and for Storm and Request, they will fall down. Nemesis, though, are down bodies. It's Navi going to be down to bodies himself. XL looks to try and charge. Looking to try and find the final one. And for S2G, though, it's a nice play, but it's a huge outcome for XL.
Super well executed by them, but the other teams are going to be setting up a hold outside their compound on the western side of it, as you see here. And Albertulins and the guys from Twisted Minds having a fight here with VP. Big teams coming in. Good third-party timing here from both teams, but let's see who's going to be on the upper end of this one. The drive-by from Beamy finds Lou.
I loved that as well. He kind of whistled through the forest, picked up some kills. Twisted Minds obviously disengaging from S2G to find position, but they do find themselves, though, in a bowl of danger. Knocks have happened. No Slack gets the confirmation. Beamy driving his way back, but he does fall down. 13th place for him. No Slack looking to try and gain the information, but with the amount of smokes here, unfortunately for IXC, he doesn't know exactly where the Twisted Minds players are.
IXC really trying to commit here now. Still in 12th place. Example hears him, throws a nade straight at the tree and finds IXC as well. Down to 10 teams now. Next zone pops. Look at this compound here. Absolutely perfectly on this eastern side here. Exhal still has the majority of it, but Jogo Bonito has set up shop on this southwest side. We do have Hive. We do have Navi and construction workers inside, but it's the big team that's gonna collapse on the western side with Ascend, with Nemesis, and PGG from the northern side that's gonna be having an impact here.
Ferris going to ground, level 3 helmet, level 3 vest, pickaxe and Famous. That is a landmine. Like, for anybody. And again, I spoke to Michael about this before, and he said if you go down, using the grass actually really hides some of those holes. So good play from him. He should be able to try and survive out, maybe eke his way in towards the placement point. But for Ascend, though, they push 2 in. They actually hold the outside edge, a very Ascend style of play. And here it comes into effect. T-Bone finds Sosadi. Keta also there as well to try and sweep it up as they have to try and find angles in towards the zone. But Ascend, well, they've already put their line in the sand.
Yeah, they want to control this western side. They want to make sure that they are the only teams to come in from here, Mark. And the way they set up with like a 2-2 split and 2 guys on the front, it's going to work out nicely here. Good nade coming in from T-Bone. Does tons of damage.
You always have tons of damage when you got his Chris not too far behind. But yeah, that 2-2 split really works out. Very Ascend style of play. They will work their way in on zone. The call is now to try and collapse Kilikai. Unfortunately, he has left to his own. So these three need to try and dig out the final player from Nemesis. He doesn't have to move. He just has to try and eke another point out of this game.
5 kills so far for Twisted Minds, and the holes get dug a little bit deeper here to see if they can squeak out some more points here and maybe survive for quite a bit longer. T-Bone does find Stayed, and the last players of Nemesis goes down in 9th place outside the placement point. Now Hive and PGG is going to have a fight here in the northern side. Could be third parties from the center as well. Rox finds Sloyd Jacket. Great shot from him with the barrel.
T-Bone's on form. He gets another knock here. Knock should be there. The grenade goes over towards the top. Schengen, though, he's just on the receiving end of it. Spray does come through with a 5.56, and it goes back towards the grenade, but he can't hold for too long. I think he's just dropped as well. I think it's going to say goodbye. Grenade comes in from T-Bone. Damage coming in as well. And for Salik, he's down to 42 HP. Let's be cautious.
Yeah, he's been knocked, and also be the last player here. He's going to try to survive for a little bit, but he gets found as well by Twisted Minds. Schengen gets the knock on this one here, and Salek is going to be confirmed. Look at this. Oh, there's a Panzerfaust confirmed on Salek too, and now Hive down to 1 player. 3 kills for them. Still some placement points now with the top 8, but not enough points for their campaign. They're currently in last place, Mark.
He did drop that grenade as well, so he had to push forward, though, from Salik. So flushed out his own player and had to find safety. Schengen, final player, as you say, he's got a Panzer. He's now getting some more 5.56 in the back pocket, getting some smokes and some util that I have to work out. And for Vard, though, he does find his way an additional point. So arguably a bit of a salvation game here from the construction works, but on 1 additional placement point, you'll be happy with that one.
All right, southern side here, and the control that they have already on the northwest as well. The only bad thing for Ascent to have a bad game here would be to step on a fair risk that's already absolutely on form here. Slavin does find Shipless. Exhal being ripped apart just a little bit. Already had some points here too. Simon does trying to find the confirm. He does. Jogo Bonito, nice. 16 points up, and top 8 here for them in the total leaderboard. Also top 6 in this game is massive for them, Mark.
Yeah, especially Simon had to come back the Rico, so the Sens, they are controlling him. Like we saw from the game before, it was Na'Vi. Now Na'Vi on the receiving end, but Ferris, again, as we say, is a bit of that landmine. He has positioned himself now looking towards it's Chris. So they have to be cautious. I think a little bit giveaway will be their car. So interested to see as Ascend kind of break things down if they do pick up on that here. But for Hive, the Jammer Pack is going, and he goes for a second chance to go get his hand caught in the cookie jar. I think he's trying to look for any smokes he can find.
Just trying to maximize, trying to squeeze out some extra points here. Might not be enough for this one here. Twisted Minds is looking poised for this one, but they are on the side where the majority of the solos, the majority of the duos are left alive here. Ascent, the only full team in this lobby now, could be pushing a little bit further for their campaign and their hope for a PGS and Esports World Cup slot.
Is what they're looking for. Send 6th place, 4 kills, up to 17 points. A good start from this team. A bit of a YOLO in that first Orango as they had to full send towards that Twisted Minds. Here's Chris just holding back, making sure no one is coming in from that sort of west side, and Killy doing the same. So they're definitely getting the kill free read, but this is telling me they don't know where the solos are. So they're taking this zone with caution. That's what you want to see from Team Ascent.
All right, 5 more seconds. Let's see where we end up going here, Mark. This is going to be a crucial one with this zone here. If it goes away from the north, it's going to be difficult, and it goes away from the east. The teams with Jogo Bonito and Exile is going to be fighting for this one here. Twisted Minds just going to have to squeeze a little bit further in. They're going to be fine, but look at the control that Ascend has. And if Ferris finds it's Chris or Kilyakai, it's going to be difficult for them. Schengen does go down. We're down to a top 5 now with 12 players left.
This is just playing into Na'Vi, right? Now they've not got the bodies, but every team goes down. There's another point Na'Vi will gain. Excel have to move. I'll have a sense position. T-Bone does hold that south side, as you say. So he's going to have a lot of information, especially if any teams that try to wrap out of this one. But I don't think they have the opportunity. Excel launch a smoke call. Have to try and launch their way forward. And for Jock Benito, they're running out of heavy util, but they've got time to burn because Excel have to come to them.
Panzerfaust in hand here. A little bit dangerous to be on the receiving end from that on Simon. Goes for another nade here. That might roll quite deep, but it's not going to be close enough for Nail Cup. He's still off to the distance here. Blue Zone as well to deny any push here from this. They're playing two guys on the same side. This Blue Zone is actually doing its perfect job here for Simon. And now the Panzerfaust gets pulled out again. 52 HP now, down to Nail Cup. He's going to have to still push and go forward with Panzerfaust through the smoke here. Shots from Lou. Third party as well from Twisted Minds. And Slavin finds Nail Cup. Huge points here for Diogo Benito.
Yeah, Odin, final player now for them, and knows he's got the information on the other side. Twisted Minds obviously in the high ground, so he's not going to be found just yet. Twisted Minds are pushing down from that north. They're getting in the cars. He is going to go pick up that Panzer. Does get the shot over, doesn't quite get the connection that wanted, swallowed up by the Fabric. And for Exhale, 7 kills, but he's down to 1 player in the top 5.
Makes Hal squeeze out a few more points to get this one. Simon does find example. Twisted Minds win for a third fight to try to go for an 8, but he dropped the nade himself after being knocked, and that's a confirm to Simon. 7 kills for Diogo Benito. And now they just need to squeeze and kill Exhal to get Odin out here would be massive. That's a good angle he has there, but it's also been spotted from Slavin as well. He spotted one more. More shots coming in. Great shots from Odin. Oh, Simon turns on him and gets it.
Love it. Great play. I like that when people take the W key down and take the fight to them despite being down numbers. Ferris, though, he's not got the opportunity. He has to try and hide this one out and hopefully doesn't get spotted. Lou doesn't want to risk and the Panzer will go in. It's a delivery and it's confirmation, though. Diogo Benito will take 4th. Navi now in the top 3. Another point going towards them. Twisted Minds down for 2, and for Team Ascend, it has been about control, control, control. They've ticked off now the West. They know their solo's about. They haven't quite found exactly where they are.
And I know it's 3 opponents left alive here. Could be a big one. T-Bone being able to get 3 kills here is massive. Good confidence booster for him. And for his campaign to go forward here is massive. Big UK player himself. I don't think they have any idea of Ferris' position. That little hole that he have been able to duck himself into with a full 3-gear set and a FAM is going to be dangerous if they step onto him. But he's on the outskirts of the zone. He might not have as much impact as they hope to not go into him here. Oh, Twisted Mind's been spotted. I know they know it's a 2-man. They probably know that Navi is the last player as well if they have a good match log and kill feed tracking here, Mark.
Yeah, there will be. And this is why we're seeing a sort of jumping around. But you got to remember, Ferris, there's no car there. He's come away from the car. It's a bit further afield. The drops are close as well. They're going to be a bit of the distraction. He's just positioned himself up against the tree. And how much utility. There are 3 grenades around. Keep it even, lads. And I worry they're going to expel quite a bit trying to find him. For Ferris, though, he just has to sit tight. He's storing zone. He just has to get ready and waiting if someone rotates his way.
And he's a bush as well inside that hole. Like, it's impossible to see him if you try to go for the jumps, try to go for the information. But that's almost a second guaranteed for them with the 3 kills as well. That's 9 points, Mark. Let's see, though, with this fight, that's a good nade potentially going straight at Lou. Oh, my God, it's Chris finds Lou.
You see, it plays an advantage of Naga's worried that Twisted Minds might try and be hold down. It's 1-2 and it's dispatched. It's Chris T-Bone stepping up to the plate here for Team Ascend. And for Ferris, he now knows he has to activate. He activates, finds Kilikai. So 3 versus 1. He has to find Mr. Short Mac looking for Kesto. Grenade comes through and it should be 1 and done. It's a win. It's a rise up and it's a 17-point game here.